Hi guys, with the shallows reigniting people's fear of the water, All Things Movies UK has decided this was the best time to look at the most badass animals in film. Ranking the top 10, we've taken into account animal type as well as relative damage they do on screen. For this reason, all fantasy type monsters are not included, so those of you expecting to see Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter might be a little bit disappointed. Okay, so starting off our list we have Cujo. Now, there's not a lot of things scarier than watching something you love turn into an infective murderous mess. While he may not be the most physically imposing animal on our list, the adorable Saint Bernard earns a place purely for the fact that A, he has no control over what happens to him, and B, before the rabies savagely takes him over, he doesn't rank very high in the food chain. Alright then guys, so at number 9 we've got the wolf pack from the Grey. Imagine this, your job is to protect oil workers in the far out wilderness of Alaska, but upon your return the plane you flew in on crashes and you're stranded with 8 other survivors. As you battle against the treacherous conditions, a larger threat begins to loom. You're being hunted by a pack of wolves. With expert hunting patterns and a superior tracking technique, the wolf pack are not only responsible for over half the deaths on the Grey, but they are also doing it to take revenge. And that's definitely a reason why they make this list. Right, so in at number 8 we have Anaconda. That's right, the giant snake from the 1997 B movie is more than badass and certainly belongs in this list. A master hunter in the water, in the trees and in the jungle, there isn't a lot that can't get away from this predator. Okay, roaring in at number 7 we've got the bear from The Revenant. Now this one's fairly simple. Bears are awesome. Whether they're animated or live action, when a bear comes on the screen you either melt or you get prepared for a massacre. The reason we ended up going with the bear from The Revenant is down to one sheer factor. You don't mess with Mama Bear. When poor old Hugh Glass stumbles upon a family of bears roughly 15 minutes in, a look of fear cascades his face when he realises he's about to get more than a little messed up. As it's such an incredible scene, I won't spoil it for you, but once you do, you will definitely know why it's made number 7 on our top 10 most badass animals in film. Number 6. Aren't animals at the zoo fun? Well, imagine them all together in one place. Shit scared. And running at you at speeds even a train would struggle to get to. With a plethora of beasts from rhinos through to gazelles, there aren't many forgotten in this devastating bit of cinema magic. It takes number 6 on our list purely for the fact that there is quite literally nothing that gets in their way. Cars are stomped, humans are fodder, and even a house is no match for their colossal parade. Okay, as we enter the top 5, we have Shere Khan from The Jungle Book. We couldn't mention animals without delving into the Disney vault. From the beginning, animals have played a huge part in every aspect of Disneydom, whether good or bad. After delving through the archives and researching this list, there were a lot to choose from. Iago from Aladdin, Scar from Lion King, or even Ratigan from Basil the Great Mouse Detective. But eventually, Shere Khan was the one that made it to our list. Why does he make it? Well, not only does he possess all the traits of the hunter extraordinaire, but he also hates mankind with a passion, causing him to not only be dangerous to the lesser species in the jungle, but also the human camps too. When you combine this with his intelligence, pride, and general ability to torture his victims, this makes Shere Khan a strong entry to the list. I hardly think a few birds are going to bring about the end of the world. Well, they couldn't be more wrong. Let's face it, the run-of-the-mill pigeon is far from terrifying, but when Hitchcock was in charge, they all of a sudden became a lot more of a threat. Starting slowly, the odd bird attack is like watching the lonely drunk walk back from a bar on a Friday night. He looks like he's on the right path, but will definitely end up with his head through a window. These paralytic birds, however, quickly escalate into a swarm so horrifying that we have no other choice but to include them in at number 4. Stomping angrily in at number 3, we have Koba from Planet of the Apes, and these are the new ones. There are literally dozens of apes that could have made our list here, but once all is said and done, none come more ferocious than Koba. Not only is he completely malevolent towards the human race, but he also rises up to command his own army. Setting him apart from the other animals on the list, Koba is hyper intelligent, an expert fighter, and above all, full of vengeance. When all these are put together, you not only have one hell of an enemy, but a true badass animal. Okay, now we couldn't have had a list of the top 10 most badass animals in film without mentioning Jaws. Now in at number 2, as a species, the great white shark has been known about for over 250 years, but it wasn't until 1975 when we were really afraid to go into the water. The great white in Jaws is easily one of the most badass animals in films. It doesn't matter where you are, the shark will attack you. You could be in a cage, on a boat, or even on a jetty, but if Jaws wants you, he will get you. When you add this into the fact that he's impossible to catch, you have yourself a relentless underwater juggernaut that is more than deserving of number 2 on our list. Okay, taking the top spot, and in no need of introduction, we have the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. Okay. It may seem like we're cheating a bit here, but let's look at the facts before we all get off our high horses. Even though they're extinct, there is no reason why they weren't going to take number 1. Certifiably badass from the start, dinosaurs have featured numerous times throughout film history, but for most, it's the events of Jurassic Park that sticks out more than anything else. Whether faced with a carnivore, herbivore or omnivore, all pack a serious punch and each one could strike you down without even breaking a sweat. Everything about them is badass. The smaller ones hunt with savage efficiency, the vegetarians have weapons attached to them, and giant ones fight over each other for the right to eat you. So as we come to our list of top 10 most badass animals in film, obviously at number 1 we have the dinosaurs. So what did you think of our top 10 most badass animals in films? Did you agree with this, or would you rather see us get eaten by one of these ferocious beasts? Please post in the comments below, as we would love to know what would have made your list and equally what was good and bad about ours. For more lists, podcasts or general movie discussion, be sure to subscribe to allthingsmoviesuk.com.